Let's talk about Villa quickly, shall we? Because obviously, top four celebrations of celebrating qualifying for the Champions League or for the European Cup for the first time in 40 plus years, isn't it? Which is a massive achievement, and I think it's where they are as a club now. They are the fourth best team in England quite comfortably, Myles. That seems quite a proud thing to say. Now let's look over the result against Crystal Palace, because you kind of almost predicted they were going to get hammered on the final day after the level of celebration they went through. But
They got hammered all week. I think that's the problem.
Fourth place is massive, mate, isn't it? It's a huge achievement.
Yeah, unbelievable. And for Emery as well, I think there's no doubt in my mind that he's manager of the season for that as an achievement, because Villa, you think a couple of years ago, we were fighting off relegation on the last day of the season with that point against West Ham. To be here already, whilst also contending with European football this year, while Tottenham weren't, it's just incredible. And the joy that the whole fan base feels. I'll be honest, this is the best season we've had in my lifetime. It's incredible to watch. It's our highest points total in a 38 game season. The Premier League, it's the most goals we've scored. They're excellent to watch. Emery has got all the fans on side. The players are incredibly likeable and are doing everything they can. There's improvements to be made, definitely, because the next gap is trying to catch up with Liverpool. That was 14 points it ended up being between the two. So
yeah,
there's things to be done. And of course, if you want to compete in the top European competition, you have to treat it with the serious nature that it needs and not just look at it as a big day out. And I really hope they're going to do that. They've got enough in place now to make me think they will. Obviously, the new kit deal has been announced today with Adidas, which we knew about a while ago. That's huge for us, absolutely. They look ambitious in the transfer market. There's talk of them looking at Michael Elise, who had a great audition at the weekend for us. It also randomly looks like we signed Ross Barkley today, which I can't believe, but I'll take it. It's good depth. And Villa will have a plan now of how they target this properly, because there's the right people at the club making the right decisions. There's people that have got a plan and infrastructure in place. Emery is at the heart of it. Monchi's behind him. And it is a very well-run football club now, and that's why we're breeding success from it.
I think that kind of organic growth to success, I know there's been investment, but seeing a club gradually get to that level is more of an achievement, I think, than City winning the league for the fourth time in a row. And that's not being bitter or salty. That's just me saying that they've, again, got the talent ID of a club that is going places. So to get Emery in the first place, we said, is fantastic. The calibre of players has gradually got better that they've signed. Pau Torres, we said at the time, was such an insane signing for them. Yuri Tielemans as well. I didn't think they were that level. I think almost they've outgrown the level of Yuri Tielemans, and they're looking beyond that now, even though he's a great player. But Villa in the Champions League, Dave, is going to be an exciting prospect, isn't it? And I guess the concern for me is they're going to go down the route of Newcastle and maybe have one great season, but absolutely exhaust themselves doing it. I suppose it depends what kind of investment they can have, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's there've been absolutely no shame of in that kind of season, to be honest. And in a way, it will be a transitional season because Villa aren't used to being in this position. I think it will be about balancing and competing on all fronts. And for me, I think for you, Myles, as well, especially just to see Villa have a decent cup run, because they've been pretty bad in the English Cup competitions for a while now. But I think, you mentioned some of the players that they've managed to attract, and obviously their recruitment's been top-notch. Obviously, we'll speak more in depth in our upcoming reviews and what obviously each team will need, but I think there's opportunities there to improve even further, and what a chance just to play in the top level of European competition. I think it's going to be crazy and just very surreal to watch, to be honest.
It's mental when you consider that some of the players that we've got now will be playing in the Champions League, and you talked about the recruitment and Villa spending money. True to a degree, but remember, Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Ollie Watkins, all signed from Championship clubs to Aston Villa.
True.
Tielemans was free. John McGinn was 2 million. Louise, I think, was 12. Kamara was free. Ramsey's an academy product. So the core of that team, they've grown together, and that is another one where Emery has coached these players to become far better players. Look at Leon Bailey, the season he's had. The development of him under Emery this year is sensational, because I think a lot of Villa fans were ready to cut their losses with him, and then we've come into this year and he probably ran Watkins close for our player of the season. So there is definitely a model there that is getting the best out of players, and we will need to invest in the summer. But don't forget, we've still got Buendia to come back. We've got Mings to come back, Ramsey, Kamara, all to come back. There's depth already there that we haven't even seen this season, really.